In this video, we're going to introduce the concept of sigma, which as you can see here just means sum of. And there's a couple of subtle little tricks that can make our experience of sigma a lot easier. The first thing to recognize is that the number on top of sigma is where the sequence ends. The number at the bottom is where it starts. And so if I have to build up the sequence, I'm not going to say, oh, I want the first term, so I'm going to put 1 in for P. Oh, I want the second term, I'm going to put in 2. You start with whatever number they give you at the bottom, and you go 1 up from there each time. The next aspect is it's tempting to think, oh, there's 11 terms because there's 11 at top. That's just where it ends. And so if you only start at 4 to work out the number of terms, as I've got here in step 2, you just take the top number minus the bottom number plus 1. So let me do that step for you now. So the number of terms in this case will be the top number minus the bottom number plus 1, which is 8. The first step I always like to do is build up the sequence, and so I sub in whatever number they give. I sub in 4 into here, and that's 12 plus 2 is 14. There's my first term. Sub in the next number, 5. 5 into P would be 15 plus 2 is 17. And lastly, 6 times 3 is 18 plus 2 is 20. And so step 1, I've subbed in the number at the bottom and gone 1 up to build up the sequence. Now I know, looking at it, that it's arithmetic. You can also see by the formula what type of pattern it is, but it's safe just to work out 3 terms and look from there. Step 2, I've worked out the number of terms. And then step 3, all that's really left is just to write down all that I know. So I know the first term is A, I know the difference each time is positive 3, and the number of terms is 8. And what sigma means, going back to the first thing I said today, is that it represents a sum of. And so it's a sum of arithmetic, so I use the sum of an arithmetic formula, and I'm just subbing in n is 8, the first term is 14, number of terms is 8, difference was 3, and I plug it in and I get 196. And it's in some ways as simple as that. There are subtle tricks all along the way, and I'll make a whole bunch of other videos to just show you some of the other tricks that can creep up. But that's good enough for now for an intro. The last thing to say is that after the sigma, you get the formula, so Tn, and then if you have an equal sign, what comes afterwards is the sum of. So for example, if I gave you this and I said that equals 19, a common error and a seriously dangerous error is to think, oh, here's a nice little equation. I'm just going to take 1 across, so that's 20, and I'm going to divide by 4, and so my answer is 5. But you've broken sigma and you've broken maths when you do that. So do not think of this as just being an equation with a number on the other side. This represents Sn, and so I put it into here in the formula, and this represents Tn, and so I'll use it to sub in terms to work out the terms in my sequence. I hope that introduction to sigma was helpful just to get you going and to look out for some of those subtle tricks. If you enjoyed this video, please like it, subscribe to our channel, and share it with your friends. Thanks.